Well, hello. Thanks for coming back to check out another video. So, we are here today to sit down and talk about the 23 makeup products that I do not want to bring into the year 2023 with me. That sounds a little weird to say, 2023. Anyway, so I just wanted to sit down and do this. There are products in my life where, one, I don't really like them. Like, I just want to get them worked up, used out of my collection. Two, I don't really support this brand anymore, and so I don't want to have a bunch of their stuff just lingering in my collection and just kind of like sitting there and giving me the stink eye, you know what I mean? Or three, like I have areas that are a little bit like overwhelming, we'll say, like lip gloss, for instance. I have too many lip glosses for one person. So I picked out lip glosses that I just naturally am gravitating towards and want to kind of put more of that concerted effort in to finish off this year. I feel like for me personally, I always get a little bit like, not frazzled, a little bit, I don't even know, like stretched too thin, like a little bit chaotic, I don't know. But when I'm trying to like pick out new items to add into projects, like I always struggle. Like I'm like, well, I don't know what I want to use, but then after I film an update or after I've like been using certain items for a while, I'm like, I really wish I would have put this in there first, you know? I'm sure we all do that. So I thought this would also be a good way to like kind of limit myself in a sense. Like, okay, when the opportunity comes and I can roll in a new item into something, then let's go look at this basket first. Let's reference these 23 items first. But I do think that most of these will actually end up being used very much like behind the scenes. So I just think that that's always fun too, just to kind of give you guys like a little inside like view into things. I'm not sure if I will actually like update this, you know, because it's not like an official project pan. But maybe like sometime end of summer, first of fall, like August or September, we could do a check-in and see how well are we doing with actually finishing off these 23 items. So I'm not going to ramble on too much further. We're just going to jump into this. I'm going to divide this up into like, hey, these are the foundations, these are, you know, the lip products, these are the whatevers. That way it's just a little bit easier to like focus and like digest the content of this video. Okay, so let's first talk about like foundation and concealer. So I do have two like foundation products and one concealer. So the first foundation product that I will show you, this is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Foundation. I have mine in the shade 650 Alexandria. You guys know how I feel about this. This is far too yellow. This is supposed to be like a neutral leaning undertoned foundation, and it's not. It's just far too yellow, and even that aside, like I could get the yellowness to work. This is just super cakey, and I even go in with like the littlest bit and I still just find that it is super thick cakey formula. I don't think I can pull this out and use this like in the summer. I feel like this is one of those foundations that's just gonna slide right off your face, and since it is cakey, like you don't want to set it a lot, you know, and just make it like more cakey. So I might hold off and like pull this out come September and then just use this every day from September on until I finish it off. The other foundation that I have is one of my oldest ones. I think I got this last year because I think we were still in our apartment. So this is from Urban Decay. This is the Hydromaniac tinted like moisturizer. I have mine in the shade 20 Fair. So this isn't bad. This isn't a terrible product. Like I do really enjoy this. This is medium coverage. You can build it up slightly, but you'll never like get full coverage out of it. It's just the fact that this is a year old and I keep passing it over. Like I keep choosing to pull out and work on other foundations as opposed to this one. And yes, I know it's like a BB cream, a tinted moisturizer, but I just personally lump them all together because you use them in the same way. So then the concealer that I will tell you guys about is my oldest concealer. Now, I just really have a soft goal that I could potentially finish off all of the concealers in this calendar year that I had at the beginning of January. You know what I mean? Like I think I've already finished off 2 or 3 concealers this year and I decluttered one. So this is one of the only ones that is like an OG to this year, and I just think it would be really exciting to be able to tell you guys in 2023, like all of these concealers are new, you know what I mean? So this is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, in case I didn't say that, and I have mine in the shade Fair Warm. Okay, so the next things I guess we'll talk about, these are like powdered base products is how I'm gonna label it. So the first one I will show you, this is a little mini blush from Benefit. This is the shade Gold Rush. It's so fun to say Gold Rush blush, like really fast. but this is what it's looking like on the inside. Hopefully you can tell I already have like a good sizable pan in this, and I really think that I could finish this off, as well as the Hourglass blushes that I'm working on. This is a blush that I like on its own, but I also like to layer it with other blushes. So again, it's just kind of easy to incorporate in here. And I do appreciate all of your comments telling me that I can easily bust it out of this box, because it is kind of like a pain to reach for it and get enough product on your brush since it's in that box format. Okay, I have two like bronzers that I would like to finish off this year. So the first one is from Physicians Formula. This is their Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer, which I think is the second lightest shade. I do have sizable pan in this already. I think I've said it in when I did the makeup declutter tag video. My bronzer category, it is by nowhere like large, we'll say. Like I think I only have 8 of them, but it's a little overwhelming because it's bronzer. Like, how many different shades of bronzer do I need? I don't need 8 of them. So while the number itself is small in comparison with a lot of other things that I have in my collection, it's one of my most overwhelming categories because, like I said, I just don't need that many. So this one from Physicians Formula, and then this is a highlighter from the Balm. It's the Bonnie Luminizer, but you can see like it's far too dark for me to wear as a highlighter, so I wear this as a glowy bronzer. Again, really good sizable pan on this product. This has just been kicking around. I think this will be our 3rd year together, me and old Bonnie, and I love her. She's been great. Like, she's been a lot of fun, but it's time for me to move on. You know what I mean? Like, so I just want to get that one worked out. And then the last powder product that I have is from Essence. This is their All About Matte Powder. I enjoy this much more than the banana powder that I had from them. So again, I already have pan on this, as you can see in there. Hopefully it's a white product with like the shiny pan, so it might be a little bit hard for the camera to register this. But yeah, there's nothing like inherently wrong with this. I just have other pressed powders that I think work better than this one. All right, let's get into the cream-based products that I have picked out. So the first one I will show you, this is a ColourPop Supershock blush in the shade Between the Sheets. I do already have nice pan on this. I'm not going to try to even swatch this out. This has dried out on me. Now, yeah, I have found that if I mix a little bit of jojoba oil in with this and let it sit for like 2 or 3 days, it's fine. Like, it rejuvenates it like well enough to use it. But that's why I want this out of my collection. These Supershock blushes from them dry out far too quickly. Like, the shadows and the highlighters I feel like last a lot longer, and I am notorious about like making sure I've screwed on my caps really tightly and things like that. So this is just something that I want out. It's not like terribly old. I think it'll be a year old in May, but it's not my favorite formula. It always dries out, like just not something that I'm into. The other thing from ColourPop that is a cream-based product is one of their cream blush sticks in the shade Cool It. This I could swatch out for you. So it's like a lighter, like pinky shade. I just don't like the stick format of blushes. I am working on the other one in my collection from them, and I'm almost done with that. It's just, yeah, not my favorite formula, and these take surprisingly like a really long time to use up. And maybe if I show you it this way, like that's barely got any use on it. So I'm a little nervous. Like, I don't know if I could actually finish this off before the year ends, but we will try, we will see. So then the other two like base products that I have in here, these are 2 liquid highlighters from ABH. It's just a brand that I'm choosing to no longer support. I don't want them in my life. And so while finishing off the ABH products that I have in here won't completely remove that brand from my makeup collection, it'll just make me feel a lot better, you know? So I do have 2 of their Liquid Glow highlighters, and I'm a little bit sad. These are some of my favorite products. I have used up countless tubes of this shade Perla. I think, to be honest, this will be, once this one's gone, it'll be like my 5th or 6th tube of Perla. And then I have Oyster here as well, which is kind of on the more pinky side. Like, Perla is very much like a golden, like kind of like liquid Mary Illuminizer. And then, like I said, Oyster has more of like a pinkish tint to it. So I did swatch it out there on my wrist next to the blush. Hopefully you can see it. It's a very cloudy day here, so I had to jack up the intensity of the ring light quite a bit. But yeah, I would like to have these 2 out of my life. I've been using this Perla, I want to say for like 2 or 3 months now, and so it feels like when you hold both of them in your hands, this one feels very much lighter. So I don't know how much longer it'll take for me to use it off, but I don't anticipate Perla hanging out for like too much longer. Alright, so let's talk about the eye related products that I have in here. This first one is an eyeliner from Pixi. This is in the shade it's an Endless Silky Eye Pen, but it's in the shade Brightening Lilac. So this is kind of like a pastel purple. Here is how much is left of this. I just don't like the Pixi products. I have yet to find a Pixi product. I don't even know if there was a point of swatching that because it's such a light pastel purple. So yeah, I just have not found any Pixi products that I like. It's not a brand that works for me, and so I just want them out of my collection, out of my life. This also is, it's an okay eyeliner. It's a pastel, but it's not impactful, and I have other lighter pastel-y kind of eyeliners that are much more impactful. So this is just a little bit of a disappointment. Honestly, this is if you just wore a nude eyeliner in your waterline, you don't get any of that purpliness to it. So I just want that out of my life. And then back on the ABH train, I do have one more Dipbrow pomade within my collection. So I get mine in the shade Taupe. You can see I have been using it, haven't had pan on it yet. These last me quite a good bit of time, so I'm not sure. It'll be cutting it close, I feel with this product. And I've already finished off another one of these this year. It wasn't brand new at the beginning of this year. I'd been using it, but I've already finished that one off. So I don't know, this one will be iffy. And then I do have two ColourPop Supershock shadows that I'm loosely putting in here. So I have just noticed that my Supershock shadows have just went sorely underused, neglected. I couldn't tell you the last time I pulled out a Supershock shadow to use. And so I picked out the two that had the most use on them. It would just feel really satisfying to finally use up a whole Supershock shadow because there's 2.1 grams of product in here. That's as much product as you get in a big size Natasha Denona palette. It's ridiculous, you know? So the first one that I have is the shade Set to Stun, which has dried out just a little bit, so I do need to rehydrate this. Again, I just used the jojoba oil. So this one is a pink, and it has blue kind of glitters in it, but it's still very much a wearable pink shadow. So I just think that this would be nice and easy to pull in for days where it's I want to do my makeup and I'm not really sure what I want to do. And then the other one I have would probably be one of my top two favorite colors. So it's the shade Birthday Cake. It's it's on the pink taupe side. I do have pan in this one as well. Set to Stun I picked because it's my oldest one. And I just want that satisfaction, you know? So there's both of them swatched out together. They are in very much the same color family. I might be shooting myself in the foot a little bit here, picking out two shades that are so similar, but like I said, these would be the two that I really do want to work on and try to finish off. Okay, so then the last things that we will talk about are all lip products. So I have 3 lip liners in here. So the first one, this is very new to my collection, within the past few weeks. This is from NYX. This is one of their Suede matte lip liners. It is in the shade Fold Again. It is this really pretty orangey shade. I wanted to love this and use this. The shade match is so spot on, but it's such a dry, tuggy formula. So I'm not swearing off the NYX lip liners completely because they have different versions, you know, all with orange shades, but this one just was kind of a letdown. So I just want to get it worked out of my collection. And then I do have 2 ColourPop Lippie pencils. One is in the shade BFF and one is in the shade BFF2. So you guys know I had in one of my more recent empties videos, I had another of this BFF because I feel this is my perfect nude shade. BFF2 is the darker one that you will see swatched out. But anyway, I had used this up about halfway, and then it dried out so much that the cartridge, where the actual lip pencil just fell out onto the bathroom floor. So I won't personally be repurchasing the ColourPop lip liners or eyeliners. I just feel they dry out too quickly. You can't actually use them up to completion and get your dollar's worth. You know what I mean? I know they're not the most expensive thing on the market. I think they're $8 a pop, but that's still $8, and I want my full monetary value. You know what I mean? Okay, this next thing is a lip souffle that I really do enjoy. This is from Rare Beauty. It's in the shade Fearless. This is one of my all-time favorite lip colors. And honestly, this reminds me a lot of the Bite Beauty shade No Nino. that I have. So this is it right here. But the formula of this is just so comfortable, so easy to wear. It's just one of my all-time favorites, and I'm still torn on when I finish this off. Do I repurchase it, or do I just try to finish off all of the Bite Beauty ones first? I'm still torn. But yeah, this is quite old in my collection. It still smells fine and performs fine, so I'm not worried about like using it. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with it, like it hasn't gone off, but it's just one of those things, like it's time to get it done. It's a mini, it's like an easy lip product to use up, you know? So then the last 4 things we will talk about are lip glosses that I would like to use up. Now I'm not gonna swatch out these lip glosses. I feel like when I go back and edit the video, they're always like kind of washed out, so just so you know. We are gonna first talk about, I have a ColourPop lip gloss. This is one of their ultra glossy lips. This was from their Sailor Moon collab. It is in the shade Sailor Moon. It is just a great like light peachy gloss with some glitters in it. You can like vaguely feel them, but it's not like terrible. It doesn't feel like super scratchy. This is just old in my collection and I want to get it used up. And again, with lip glosses, I have so many lip glosses for one person. So I tried to pick out ones where it was like, I really like the shade, we're in spring, like this is a great time to pull this one out and finish it off. Or like, I really like the NYX one that I'll show you. And then the other two, it's like, I really don't want to support these brands, so I want them out of my collection, you know? So the NYX one that I pulled out is one of their butter glosses. I would have to say, I think these are my absolute hands down favorite glosses that I have in my collection. So I have the shade Vanilla Cream Pie, which as you can see is just like a really pretty light pink shade. I've greatly enjoyed using both that and the ColourPop this spring. So then the other gloss that I have, this is from Jeffree Star. I think it's pretty apparent why we don't want to support him. This is in the shade Mouthful. This is just one of those like nude lip glosses. I had this on today earlier, but I think that after like filming a few videos and talking for a while, like my lip products have kind of worn off, and so the glossiness this did give my lips is probably not there anymore. But this will just be easy to incorporate in with any look because it is a nude gloss. And then the other one I have, this was gifted to me, so I greatly appreciate the gift from my bestie, but it's Juvia's Place, and I don't know, I kind of have like a sour taste in my mouth from them too. So this is in the shade So Glaze. I will say this is like one of my most interesting and unique lip glosses. It's got a clear base, but then it kind of shifts purple and pink. So it's just really pretty, and I think that I will get a lot of use out of this in the summer. Like this to me just kind of, I don't know, you want to be like more fun and bright with your makeup in the summer, you know? So yeah, that is it though. That is the 23 makeup products that I do not want to bring with me into the year 2023. Do you guys have anything like this that you do? Are there any things that you think that I won't be able to finish off? I always love chatting with you in the comments and just reading them, and it brightens my day. So I do greatly appreciate you being here. I hope you're having a good day, a good night, or a good whatever, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Thank you.